Scarcity exists whenever our resources are insufficient to produce all the goods and services that we would like to consume. That scarcity abounds is obvious. We cannot produce everything people would like to have. Our wants appear to be unlimited. Who doesn't want, for example, world peace, or for every baby to sleep in the world with a full stomach, and to rid the world of malaria, and on and on and on. But we only have so many resources to use. Our resources are limited. Our wants, what we'd like to have, are virtually unlimited. The result is that we have scarcity. We simply cannot produce all the stuff that we'd like to have. Well, when you can't have all the stuff you'd like to have, you've got to make a choice. Making choices is the unavoidable consequence of scarcity. Since individuals and societies cannot obtain all they would like to consume, they must choose what to obtain and what not to obtain. Now, when we think in sort of the big picture of an economy or society, the choices we face fall into three broad categories. What to produce? Are we going to produce apples? If so, how many apples do we want to make? Are we going to make tanks? If so, how many tanks are we going to make? Are we going to produce marijuana cigarettes? If so, how many marijuana cigarettes are we going to produce? Then we've got to decide how to produce them. Are we going to make tanks in Illinois, or in Virginia, or in California? Are we going to use lots of equipment to make tanks, or lots of labor? What type of labor? Which employees, or what type of labor we're going to use? And finally, for whom to produce? If we grow apples, who's going to get to eat the apples? If we make marijuana cigarettes, who's going to obtain the marijuana cigarettes? Economists usually assume that people make choices they believe are in their self-interest. This implies that people choose things when they anticipate that the benefit they receive is greater than the cost they pay. For example, now, out of all the ways you could be spending your time, you chose to work on Econ 610. Economists typically presume that you chose to work on Econ 610 now because you value doing so more than all those other things. Now, a few points about making choices. Since information is not free, people may, with hindsight, regret making a decision even though they thought the decision was in their self-interest when they made it. For example, you may regret getting in a slow line at the food court. However, you probably would have avoided that slow line if you knew that it would move slowly. My wife picks lines at Costco based on the cashier. She knows which cashiers are speedy and which ones are slow. A second point, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Self-interested choices may appear to be stupid to someone else. Here are three examples. My wife thinks I'm crazy for wanting to ride my bike for hours. I, on the other hand, think that the benefit is greater than the cost. Second, I may think that someone who gets drunk and naked at a party is a fool. The drunk, on the other hand, may think that the enjoyment from the notoriety and telling friends later about his exhibition is greater than the cost. Third, an observer may think that sleeping in class is a waste of tuition money. The student may think that the value of staying up late with friends exceeds the benefit of listening carefully during the lecture. The third point, self-interest is not equivalent to selfish. Economists recognize that many people derive pleasure from helping poor people and from being recognized for their charitable deeds. When the pleasure derived from giving $1 to a charity exceeds the pleasure from spending it or saving it, a self-interested person would give away the dollar.